Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Vernon, Texas. And today's report is for February the 26th, 2025 through March the 4th, 2025. And as usual, we jump right in with our sun because it is our closest star. And like the climate, it affects our energy system the most because it is so near. And the sun has been active this past week with M and X class flaring off the sides or the limbs, as it's called. So the non-Earth directed sides of the sun. And so when that occurs, the sun does send us a sort of particle charge, right? So that flare does give us that sort of, oh, something's happened, something shifted, right? So it's an awareness or sometimes an uptick in feeling that we would experience in our physical body. But for the most part, how that really impacts us is when it releases CMEs, coronal mass ejections, and sends the particles at Earth. But none of those have been Earth facing. We are on an increase or a uptick in solar activity, which is going to be continuing to rise for the next 3 weeks. And as of yesterday, we were magnetically locked with the really large coronal hole that's on the Earth-facing part of the sun. Some people might tell you that the large pyramid shape that it makes over the almost the entire Earth-facing surface of the sun is unique, but it has happened before because things are magnetic patterns and move and shift accordingly. And so it has been before, but it is rather large. And so that large coronal hole stream, like I said, we're already magnetically locked, so there's going to be an uptick in earthquake activity. But when that plasma stream that comes from the coronal hole arrives later on this evening, the earthquake watch rises. And of course, when that plasma hits us, we start to feel a sense of heaviness, almost going through a thicker sense of spirit. The plasma, the prana, the energy in which we move becomes thicker. And sometimes we can feel sluggish or weighed upon. Think of it this way, though. Regular energy is a gas engine, and when we have this extra plasma energy, it's a diesel engine, right? So this pressure can produce more torque for us to actually get things done. The cord's missing maybe a little bit, and so pay attention to that. But it is earthquake watch. So if you're in earthquake zone, such a large coronal hole with the plasma stream arriving, and that's going to be, I said, arriving tonight. And so that stream will sort of be impacting the earth probably until Saturday evening. So look for that to be an extended feeling of torque that we can gather from the power of the sun. We are in the solar season, sun sign zodiac of Pisces, which of course the zodiac signs do have an alchemical match to the body. And physically, that for Pisces is our feet. And so the energy with all of the stuff that is currently going on and all the stuff that's currently releasing, really that energy in the feet is allowing you to sort of let the earth guide you, right? So if you want to think that the earth has its own consciousness as an entirety, not just the parts that make it up or on the surface, that it is responding in the correct way because it is a heavenly body, and that your feet grounded on that earth can help give you direction on how you should respond to the shifts in the cosmos. So pay attention to that. Earth has wisdom. Imagine that. So pay attention to your feet, how that's going to feel. Sometimes maybe if you're resisting it, you might have a little bit of foot pain, pain in your feet. There we go. And that will be noticeable, but sometimes it's just a buzz, right? Almost like they're warm for no reason, right? You're not working out, your socks aren't too thick, you haven't had your shoes on your feet for 8 hours, and so pay attention to that energy. Retrogrades, we are currently retrograde free for the next couple of days, so do with that what you will, right? So it's almost like a forward movement kind of time where you don't have to double check, or you're not energetically being called to introspection of certain aspects of the self. And so this is you unencumbered. So sort of if you would like to take some discernment to say, hey, who am I unencumbered by the stars? Then use this time for that. That'll be till Sunday of this week. Today, Wednesday, the 26th, You might literally and figuratively, you might literally and figuratively have been losing your shit over the past couple of months because of Mars retrograde. And so today is really going to feel like a releasing or a cleansing. If you've been uptight about the changes, right? This release, this no retrogrades might actually have everything going like, oh, here's the time to get out of the body, or here's a time to release out of the consciousness. And so pay attention to that. The theme of that energy, really much like there being retrograde free, is a energy of self-acceptance. Like, hey, these are the things that remained, right? So if the universe was compressing us to squeeze out the bullshit, and now that there is no compression or very little compression except from the sun, then what remains is what is good and righteous for you to be. And so the theme of the energy is really self-acceptance, right? This is what you've constructed so far, and this is what the universe hasn't cleared away. And so use that or make of that what you can. Moves us into tomorrow, Thursday, the 27th of what are we in? February. And we are at the beginning of eclipse season. So that's a 6-week period, both pre and post eclipses that are happening next month in March. And really, it's this sort of clean slate, right? So the energy of eclipse season is any sort of thing that's left off, right? You want to think of the eclipse season as a final rinse for all the contemplation and removal and adjustments we've made during winter while we've had time to sort of slow down and compress, right? And now this is what we're going to grow into, or the energy we're going to unleash on ourselves and the planet, which is happening Thursday. And just a heads up for what's happening in March when those eclipses are happening. March 13th of next month is going to be the lunar total eclipse. Ooh, bye-bye, moon. It's going to be a full blood moon. And that blood moon is going to be in Pisces, right? So it's just going to be that extra energy on the zodiac sign Pisces, where we're sort of getting solid ground, right? So it's if there is an incongruence in what the earth is doing and who we are, then that lunar eclipse sort of gets rid of that. That sounds like fun. And then there's a partial solar eclipse on March the 29th, and the sun will be in Aries, right? So that'll be back up to the top of the crown, Aries, the ram, the golden fleece, the higher consciousness, the search for oneness, the search for Christ consciousness, all those kinds of things are sort of gathered around that, right? And so the solar eclipse in that is really to think of it as a pilot light, right? We've been introspective in the physical form. Now this is a pilot light going poof, and allowing us to sort of be our own candle, but also be a beacon or a receptor of the cosmic energy from beyond the earth plane. In a higher sense, right? It doesn't really ever stop, but in a higher sense, that'll be happening on the 29th of March. And that's the stuff for Thursday. Moving on to last day of the month, Friday the 28th. We will be into the new moon. New moon energy continues. And actually, so yeah, the new moon. Did I say the new moon happened on? I did not. Yeah, so the new moon, 27th, 28th. Dark moon is the new moon. Beginnings, endings, cleansings. So Friday the 28th, new moon energy continues, and the end of February is there, right? And so February actually, when you look at what the word February means, it's really about purification. And so we're really ending a purification cycle. And then in the sky during that new moon, you should be able to see or pay attention to or find, if it's not cloudy, the 7 planetary alignments, which is going to be Saturn, Mars, Venus, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mercury. And so with no retrogrades and all those planetary bodies or planetary energies or energies that are represented by planetary bodies, it really is an alignment of 7 planets, so that you can ask the stars for help and receive it, and really sort of pick a direction and pick a channel that really works for you, right? So any of those planets and their aspects that are positive or something that you need work on, feel free to jump into that on Friday. Sounds like a good weekend thing. Maybe some bonfires and some rituals to do some stuff like that. Deep meditation, salt baths, all the fun stuff. Moves us into Saturday, March the 1st. Welcome to March. Um, March obviously is the month named after Mars, right? So after all of this Mars retrograde and purification and the idea of a war with ourselves, now this is really a march into claiming external territory for our goals, our visions, our desires, and right, all that alignment from the planetary stuff, it sort of allows that to sort of happen, right? This isn't necessarily an actual war. This is a moving into and claiming the divinity and worth of being in certain spaces that maybe you've kept yourself out of. Blah 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 blah. And so really what's going to become evident during Saturday, or maybe the entire month of March, is that all of the shit show, all of the BS that you went through while Mars was retrograding, it's really going to show you what were the benefits of that? What were you trying to see? This is kind of like after you work out and your body's just sore for weeks on end when you start, and then all of a sudden you start to see your body shifting and moving into new things, right? Similar energy, all of that construction or deconstruction that you did with Mars retrograde now starts to show you what were the benefits of that, or which could be as minor as, hey, I'm stronger because that shit didn't kill me. Pay attention to Saturday. Sounds like a good weekend, Friday and Saturday. Moves us into Sunday and Monday. Sunday, Venus begins. Usually it takes 36 48 hours to get the planets moved in the opposite direction of what they're going, but Sunday and Monday Venus goes into retrograde. And just sort of remember, Venus is the morning star, and this is really the contemplation of how light how light in general is manifested in dark places. And also some contemplation for Venus in retrograde is really what are the different forms that light can take, right? There is no shadow without light, right? So think about that. And of course, since it's Venus, you could always use this time to engage with or talk about or upgrade instances of love and relations around love, right? That could be familial, that can be lovers, all the fun stuff that deals with the heart and relationships. That channels over into Monday, right? So we're still having the Venus retrograde start, right? So Monday is also the 3-3 gateway, March the 3rd. And the gateway is really threes are governed around 369 the universe, right? So the beginning of alignment. But when you get the triple threes, it's usually associated with ascended masters and angels, right? So look for, if you've been asking for guidance, look for alignment or synchronicities around things that you normally sort of pay attention to, right? So if you're always like, oh, I'm thinking about this, maybe there's a representation of that energy, that deity, that angelic presence that sort of shows up, right? This could be as simple as feathers on the ground when you're kind of unsure of yourself, right? Hey, these guys are close. It could be in the form of birds that you don't normally see. There's a lot of cardinals around here in Texas right now. But just the other day, we saw a blue jay, right? So blue jay is about dominion, royalty, kingship. So just sort of think there's some kind of symbolism that's going to be more available or closer on 3-3. And really that ability to sort of walk into that and use that, right? That maybe you can gain some of those powers or aspects of those things that you've been seeking. Sounds like a good Monday. Leads us into Tuesday, the 4th, where the energy sort of not shifts, but the energy that's sort of messing with us or most influential on Tuesday is going to be the moon and the sun sextiling or lining up to sort of be in Taurus, right? So positivity and rationality sort of come together, right? So not being wishy-washy or based on wish, but using a logical approach to if this mystical energy is possible, then here's a logical way I can move towards that realization or encounter or embodiment of that energy. And then also the moon's sextiling Mars. And that's really going to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Invigorate, create the potential for better communication between opposite sexes, right? So, right off the energy of the Venus going into retrograde, right, communication becomes more possible. It's like the stars cause something, and then they give you the ability to move through it. Oh my goodness, it's like we're floating on a wave, riding the wave. Good times, good stuff. That's the report for this week. Of course, I'm here at New Dimensions Coast Reiki. I'm right next to the radio station in downtown Brigham. That'd be KTX 106, which has a blue awning on the front. We're right here on the corner, newdimensionscrystals.com. If you need to book a session, just for so you don't get sideways, the software online doesn't allow you to book next day, right? So plan ahead, right? So if you need to have a Monday session, you want to book it by midnight on Saturday, according to the technology. I'm guessing that's going to be Central Time. If I'm a betting man, and so just sort of pay attention to that. And of course, you want to come by the shop, see me. We're here at 221 East Main Street, and you come to the shop, buy some crystals, talk about how these energies are affecting you, or if you've skipped the show but know I do it, you can just ask me the questions that you didn't get by listening. All right, I think that's everything. I'm going to look for the button that says stop.